And after nearly 4 long months, Newsmax has brought our own Sarah Williamson back here at home. There she is, at least for now, right?
That's right. Sarah, oh my goodness. We speak to you so often when you are overseas, in Ukraine, in this war-torn country, and you bring us the very latest, and now you're here with us. What can you share with the viewers about what stood out to you the most during your time there?
Just the resilience, really. First of all, it is so good to see you both in person.
In person, right?
In person, and just hearing you in my ears like I have been for the past 4 months. So it's a pleasure to be back here with you. But just really the resilience of the Ukrainian people is what stood out to me the most, because I was in complete shock about how the entire country has really banded together throughout this war. Because when I first got there, the war hadn't even begun yet. I was there before the war had started, and the people you'd speak to in Kyiv at the beginning really didn't believe that a war was going to actually start. They did not believe that it was going. They were so far removed from the borders where this troop build-up had begun that I would speak to these people on the street, and they thought this isn't going to happen. This is just rhetoric that we're hearing from the United States, that we're hearing from the United Kingdom, and this is something that our country doesn't believe is going to happen. And then I would move to the east of the country, where they've been at war for 8 years, and these people had a completely different outlook on it. And they were sitting there saying, why can't people save us? We've been at war for 8 years and this is happening to us right now and we're suffering. And they lived very different lives. But then the minute the war started, they all sort of came together, and everyone was united as Ukrainian, whether you were a Russian speaker, whether you were a Ukrainian speaker, whether you're from the east, whether you're from the west. You were Ukrainian and you were in this together. It was a beautiful sight to see.
I'm curious to know that mindset that you talk about in Kyiv, of how it was at the beginning, because we remember that when you first started reporting on that, there wasn't a high concern when you were in Kyiv versus what is happening in the eastern regions. You fast forward to day 103 now, or at least your final day when you were there. Has that mindset changed at all with the people of Kyiv now really heavily concerned for what's happening in the eastern parts of their country, and also seeing how the United States has stepped up, Western allies have stepped up, European allies have stepped up? What is the mindset of civilians there, specifically there in Kyiv, as it housed almost 3 million people at one point?
Yeah, so the city, I've seen the city in 3 different stages now, from what it was pre-war to what it was when the war began, which was a ghost town when everyone had moved out, to now what it is since the post-battle for Kyiv. And people coming back to the city. Now civilians have started to move back into Kyiv and resume their normal life. Shops have come back open, restaurants have started to open back up, and people are starting to rebuild the city. People want to get their lives back on track, and people are trying to support one another and still, at the same time, still trying to build, raise money and still collect themselves and still send everything over to the east. So they know that the east is a priority for them.
Wow. Just incredible to hear these stories. Sarah Williamson in studio for us. Sarah, we hope you stay for as long as you would like to stay here. And then, of course, if you head back over, we will be watching for all of your coverage. Great to hear from you in person.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. All right, coming up on National